Hi, guys. Oh, my God, it's Ugly Bob. What the hell are you doing here?
Hello video game fans, this is going to be part 9 of my 26-part review focusing on Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I'm going to try and address succinctly the changes that were made for the PSP version of this game entitled Dracula X Chronicles. First we'll get into the history of the game. This game was the sole Castlevania release on the TurboGrafx-16 CD add-on system in 1993. It's sometimes hard to get all the terminology correct, but I believe in the USA it kept the name Turbo CD, whereas in Japan the whole thing was known as the PC Engine, and then adding the CD drive called it the Super PC Engine Turbo. I really should do more research. Anyway, I maintain that the name PC Engine was better. Some people even say that's the reason TurboGrafx failed in the United States. It had a dumb name. Seems silly, but possibly. Anyway, this game is the first Castlevania that introduced us to Richter Belmont, who would become much more familiar to fans in the United States for his role in Symphony of the Night. It follows the traditional conventions of Castlevania with side-scrolling stages, but it was the first game to have branching paths. There are several that lead to different endings, as well as secondary levels. There's 8 standard side-scrolling stages, and then another 4 or 5 alternate stages where the entire stage is different bosses. They all lead to Dracula at the end, but it's a neat little surprise, making it one of the longer Castlevania games, and it had kind of the spirit of the best one, Castlevania 3, into going into that. This game was also the first one to introduce multiple playable characters, both being very different from each other. Richter played more like the traditional Belmont with a few new tricks, like the ability to backdash, a backward flip in the air used to avoid projectiles and various other moves. It's basically an evasive move. And he had, this also was the premiere of the item crashes, where depending on your sub-weapons and for a certain number of hearts you could use a ultra-powerful, well, strong attack that usually could hit anywhere on the screen. Very useful. He had the other standard whip power-ups. He was pretty much like playing any other Belmont except for the aforementioned changes. Now the secondary character is something special. It's a little girl named Maria Renard, who again will be familiar to Symphony of the Night players, but in this one she is quite literally a little girl. She uses doves and various other spiritual animals to attack enemies, and just the idea of killing the undead with doves is great. But don't underestimate her, because she's quite powerful. She has weaker defense than Richter, but the game really does seem easier for her because she's able to hit enemies multiple times, usually per strike. So if you're evasive with her, you can usually kill enemies a lot quicker, and you won't have to worry about her weaker defense, because she can also dodge a lot easier. She has a double jump, and she can slide. I just feel she's all around not only the better character, but a lot more fun to play, much like I said about Eric Lacard in my Bloodlines review. It's hard to compare the graphics in this game to anything else, because I, like apparently most other people, never owned a TurboGrafx-16. But given this game's status as a placeholder in the Castlevania series of games, you know, the game where many enemies and various other designs and stuff were taken from, they are quite impressive. And if I am going to rank them by the standard when they came out in 1993, the graphics are quite full of detail and quite expressive. If I have to make a standard, it would definitely be in the music. Due to the Red Book audio that the PC Engine, Super CD, whatever, was capable of, it had far superior music to cartridge-based games, even the Super Nintendo. It was kind of what the Mega CD or the Sega CD should have focused on, not stupid crappy FMV games. This allows for classic renditions of many great Castlevania tunes like Vampire Killer and Bloody Tears and The Beginning, and there's a few also new classics in this one like Opus 13 and I can't think of any other ones right now, but the arrangements that I mentioned are quite excellent and really stand out, especially how they changed them completely for the PSP remake. This game, Challenge, I feel the comparison is pretty much the same as between the two characters in Bloodlines. It's really only challenging, or it's far more challenging for Richter Belmont because of the obvious advantages that Maria Renard have. I had never played this game before checking out both the remake and the original edition on the PSP release because I don't believe in emulators if possible and such like.